There is a law you almost certainly never voted for, passed by a government most of the world does not belong to, that nonetheless reached into your phone, your inbox, and nearly every website you use and changed them. You have pricked its fingerprints thousands of times without knowing its name. It is Europe's, and yet it rules far beyond Europe. Stay with me, because how a single region came to write the world's rules is the real story, and I've kept the sharpest twist for the end. It is a data protection law, and its premise is radical that the information about you, your clicks, your location, your habits, your face belongs in a meaningful sense to you and not to whoever collected it. Companies may use it, but only with rules. They must tell you, they must have a reason, and you can demand to see it or have it deleted. Your data stops being simply theirs. But here is the move that made it global. The law does not only cover European companies. It covers anyone, anywhere, who handles the data of people in Europe. A firm in California or Bangalore serving European users must obey it, or face fines large enough to hurt a slice of their entire worldwide revenue. Suddenly, a European rule had teeth on every continent. And that created something subtle. Rather than build one version of a product for Europe and another for everywhere else, most global companies found it cheaper to apply the strict European standard everywhere. So the privacy pop-ups, the consent banners, the download your data buttons spread across the whole internet, even to countries that passed no such law. Economists have a name for this: the Brussels effect. It took force in 2018, and the shock was immediate. Overnight, inboxes across the planet filled with "We've updated our privacy policy" emails from companies scrambling to comply. Those emails were the visible tremor of an invisible earthquake, a single block rewriting how data is handled worldwide without passing a single law in any of the other countries that changed. And here is what should make you sit up. This was not an accident. Europe cannot outbuild Silicon Valley. It has no equivalent giants, so it reached for a different kind of power. If you cannot make the products, you can make the rules the products must follow. Regulation became Europe's export, and the world its market. But the results are more tangled than the ideal. The rules are so complex and costly to obey that the biggest companies, the very ones it aimed at, can afford armies of lawyers to comply, while small startups drown in the paperwork. A law meant to rein in the giants can quietly entrench them by making the cost of handling data a wall only the rich can climb. And there is the uncomfortable part you feel every day. Much of what you experience of this law is theater. The endless cookie banners, designed to be annoying, nudge you to just click accept. The consent is technically given and practically meaningless. A law about your control over your data often delivers, at the surface, only the exhausting ritual of pretending to choose. And yet, underneath the theater, something real did move. The default flipped. Before, companies could take your data and you had to fight to stop them. Now, in much of the world, they must ask, must justify, must let you walk away with your record. Imperfect, gamed, and genuinely powerful, all at once. Which reframes what sovereignty even means. Now, power used to be armies and factories and currency. But a bloc with none of the world's biggest tech firms reshaped the world's technology anyway, simply by controlling access to 500 million consumers and writing the terms of entry. The rule maker, it turns out, can rule without owning the thing at all. So here is the twist I saved. The most powerful thing Europe built in the digital age was not a company, not a product, not a chip. It was a paragraph of rules that everyone else decided it was easier to obey than to fight. Unable to outbuild Silicon Valley, Europe did something subtler. It wrote the rules the rest of the world now has to follow.